What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the lab with another quest build. I have an absolute high-flying dominatrix of a blueprint for this build right here. I have not seen this type of build with these kind of specs, so I thought I'd tinker and want to make something that could dunk from half court. Literally, once you get inside half court and you're attacking the rim, you are cleared for takeoff. It is a bruising physical freak of nature that does not have deficiencies that I've seen in other builds. This thing right here has shades of Zion Williamson, Larry Johnson, and Rodney Rogers. This is my 99 driving dunk Lob Threat. But this thing doesn't just dunk, it can do a lot more than just attack the rim. It is not brain dead. Follow along to a T to get this name and then tinker at your own discretion. But we are going to make this at power forward or center. You're going to be 6'9", 248 pounds with a max 7'7" wingspan. And you know we're going body shape built because the strength on this build is no joke. These are not show muscles. You are going to be bruising every opponent that you come in contact with. And when you attack the rim, just get out of the way. Get out of the way. This is a freight train. We are going to make our close shot at a 67. Our driving layup to an 80. It's going to be a bad stretch. We're going to max out our driving dunk to a 99. A 99 driving dunk. I personally have never had a build like that. And when playing with this thing, if it gets an ounce of space, especially tied with this strength on this build, it goes bananas. We're also going to get our standing dunk to a 68. That's going to give us 18 finishing badges because we want at least the Hall of Fame posterizer, which is 8 badges on tier 3. Limitless takeoff is 6 badges on tier 2. And then Giant Slayer is 4 badges Hall of Fame, or Slithery Finisher on Hall of Fame tier 1. I would recommend putting your +4 if you do run on this blueprint at finishing to get that Hall of Fame Giant Slayer, Slithery, Hall of Fame, Limitless, and then posterizer. And this build, it will be an absolute force attacking the rim. We're punting post control because you're going to be more of an off-ball slasher obviously on this build. But then shooting wise, I don't think a lob threat should be able to do this. We're going to get our midi to a 71, and then that's a badge threat, and we're going to get our 3 ball to an 81. That's going to give us 17 shooting badges. Again, 17 is a perfect number for shooting because you want that gold catch and shoot on tier 3. Only way you get that is at least 17. We're probably not going to be pulling up for middies too often on this build, so it's going to be more of a floor spacing slasher. So that 81 3 ball, you can space the floor, and then the 99 driving dunk, you can attack the rim at any given moment. But 71 midi, if you know your jumper, you can definitely hit that. And like I said, the badge allocation to get that catch and shoot on gold is going to be very crucial. We are going to get our free throw as well to a 60. Those are a little extra atch. You can put that elsewhere. But playmaking wise, we are going to get our pass accuracy to a 78. We're going to get our max ball handle to an 87, and then speed with ball, we're going to get that maxed out to a 71 as well. So this is like a playmaking lob threat. You don't want to really go higher than a 78 on the pass accuracy. You might be able to go higher, but getting 78 pass accuracy is going to be completely serviceable. And then 87 ball handle. You're going to be a nice secondary ball handler for your squad. You're not going to be getting ripped when you do get the ball in transition and whatnot. This is where that Rodney Rogers type handle comes in, that floor spacing, wing, undersized 4 type build. The playmaking is going to be really nice. And then realistically, you get more badges on playmaking than you do finishing and shooting because you're going to be one of the great playmakers for your squad. And then defense, we're not necessarily elite on this build, but you are definitely serviceable and you're not a deficient liability. We're going to get our interior defense to a 76. We're going to get our perimeter defense to a 78. We're going to keep our stealies at 43, but we're going to get our block to a 73. And then we're going to get our defense rebound to a 73 as well. So realistically, you get 16 defensive badges. I really didn't want to punt defense and rebounding. You do want to be serviceable. You can grab a rebound when it comes to you. You can block a shot if you time it right. You can play good perimeter defense and interior D. You're 6'9", 248, and you'll see in a minute that the strength goes buck wild on this build. But you do want a certain amount of defensive badges because you're going to want that Hall of Fame brick wall potentially. So you can kind of customize this build a little bit to your play style. But ultimately, let's go to the physicals. We're going to max out our speed, acceleration, strength to a 94, get our vert to an 82, and then the rest on stamina to an 86. So giving this build a once over, 18 finishing, 17 shooting, 20 playmaking, and 16 defensive badges. As I've already said on the finishing, you need at least 18 to get the Hall of Fame posters, Limitless, and Slithery. If you go +4, you can also get Giant Slayer and Hollow. You need the 17 shooting to get that gold catch and shoot. The playmaking is going to go bananas, gold quick first, you can do whatever you want on that. Gold clamp breaker, that's hot. But then defensively, you might want to throw a few more just to get that Hall of Fame brick wall. Because the 94 strength on this build is going to be, you really want to utilize that aspect and be able to set off ball screens and then dive to the basket and create mismatches for your defensive opponents. They're going to have to account for you. 99 driving dunk, obviously it speaks for itself, but the 81 3 ball is going to go ham. You're going to be able to space the floor. Like I said, Rodney Rogers was kind of a squirt gun on the perimeter later in his career. And then the 87 ball handle, you can be a primary creator as well. Defensively, if you have decent stick work, you're going to be serviceable. Like I said, I'm loving this build as a behemoth high flyer that can kind of do a lot of dirty work with mind-boggling potential splash plays on offense. So let's go to takeover. Obviously, you're going to get finishing, shot creating, shooting, and playmaking. Let's just double down and make this, absolutely bananas with finishing. And you can make this probably at small forward and make an athletic finisher, but if you do at the power forward or center, you're going to get a max driving dunk, max strength lob threat. This thing is an absolute abominable beast. I would love to play with this build if I'm playing at the rec. It can, be a great pick and roll type player. It can be in the pick and roll. It's going to be a matchup nightmare. It's going to be kind of too big, too fast, too athletic for a lot of builds. You're going to need something defensive minded to even slow this down. But then on top of it, if you are playing a squad or people who know what they're doing, it can kind of just be a playmaker who, when they get the opportunity, obviously then you can go take flight and yam on anyone. But you can space the floor, you can be a nice outside shooter, secondary ball handler. And if you're good and know how to play, you're going to be fine defensively on this build. Have you guys seen other lob threats, and how do they differ or compare to this one? Would you spend your hard-earned VC on this blueprint? Let me know in the comments, because you know what time it is. Quest Sparrow, cooking up that bacon. Streets!